Okay, so look at everyone up here. All right, the Q. So does the Q, is that naming a point line or a plane? Yes, this Q over here, it's attached to this dot. That means that it's naming, and it's uppercase. That is naming a point, definitely. Okay, what is this L naming? Good. The L is giving the name of this whole line right here. Okay. Okay, what is the N naming? Yeah, the plane, that whole plane there, right? How do you know that's naming the plane? Okay, it's this uppercase cursive, and it's really not attached to any lines or dots or anything like that. So it's just naming this whole plane. This is plane N. Okay, what is the lowercase m? It's a line. And then what is a P? Is a point. Okay. Somebody else who has not answered yet. What does the lowercase p stand? What is it naming? Good, it's naming a line. What is the A? Is a point. Okay, the Q is a line. What is a C? It's a point. The R. Okay, there's an uppercase R and a lowercase r. So what is the uppercase R? Yeah, you can see that it's that uppercase cursive R. So it's talking about the whole plane there. Good job. What is the lowercase r talking about? Yeah, it's talking about this line that's going up and down here. And then what does the capital B stand for? Yep, the capital B right here is attached to this dot. It's talking about a point. Okay, so the stuff we're looking at today is very similar to the stuff we did yesterday. Just adding a little bit to it. So, number one, how many lines can you draw through point A? Okay, I can draw one. Can I draw more than that through point A? I can do that. Can I draw more than that? Okay. Can I draw more than that? Can I draw one here? 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 Could I draw more than that? I mean, I could keep going here. I could keep just going. So how many do you think I could draw through A? Infinite. Good. An infinite amount of lines. Through one point, you can draw an infinite number of lines. Now, in reality, if I were to draw with this pencil, with this pen being this width, eventually it's just going to look like a solid dot. But in theory, a line has no width, so you could draw an infinite number of lines through point A. Now, the next one, number 2, says how many lines can you draw through points B and C? So that means both of them at the same time. So how many lines can I draw through B and C? One, that's it. Now, number 3 says draw and label point D between B and C. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put B and C, and then I'm going to put a point D between there. Okay. Now the question is, given those 3 points being named, there's an infinite number of points on that line, but those are just 3 that we're calling out, 3 that we're naming. How many different ways can we name it and list them? So we're going to do that. Okay, so one way I could name this line is I could name it BD. Line BD. Now on a line, okay, which is different than like on a ray. Ray is definitely different than this, but on a line, I can rearrange those letters. The orders of the letter in this context doesn't matter. So I could call it line DB. BD and DB. So remember we talked about this yesterday. When we're naming a line, there's 2 ways to name a line. One of the ways to name the line is by using 2 points on that line. Only 2 points. We don't use 3, we don't use 1, we use 2 points to name the line. The other way to name a line is if there's the lowercase cursive letter that's attached to it. And in this problem here, it doesn't say anything about that. So the only way we can name this one is by using 2 points on the line. So is there more ways than just using B and D? Is there other letters that I could use? What? Okay, I could use B and C. And if I flip that, C and B. Okay, is there other ways? Yep, C and D. And then D and C. And with those 3 letters, that's all the different combinations I can do of that. So there's 6 different ways to name that line, given 3 points on the line. Okay, next one. We're going to draw a line that goes through all 5 of these points. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to write down 3 ways to name that line. Just 3 ways. There's a bunch. All you got to do is write down 3 ways. Just pick out 2 points on there. Okay, EF, that's good. Okay, GH. Okay, JF. That's good. All right, and like I said, there's a bunch of different ways to do that, so that's good. Okay, number 5 says, how many different lines can you draw through 3 non-collinear points when taking 2 points at a time? So that's what we have already drawn for us. A, B, and C, they're non-collinear. They're not all on the same line. So we can draw 1, 2, 3 lines through 3 non-collinear points. Okay, number 6 says list all the possible names for the given figure. So there are 13 different ways to name this line here on 6A. There's 13 ways. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to try to come up with all 13 ways to name this line. So go ahead and do that. All 13 ways to name that line.
Line D.
Okay, you just jumped right on the first one, okay?
Yeah.
There you go. So that's the easy way to name it, is line D. Okay, RS, good.
Yeah.
TS, good. All right, Nick. What's one way you named it?
What?
Name this line.
Line D.
Okay, yeah, we already got that.
Oh.
Coming up with different ways.
Oh.
Just choose 2 of the letters on that line.
R and S.
Okay, RS is already picked.
Oh, okay. Switch it up. Go back. TU.
Okay, TU, that'll work. Okay, UT. Very good. RU. SR. Name it. Already got RU.
Wait. RS.
Got that? Say again? RT, okay, good. US, Good.
You are.
You are. Good.
TR.
TR.
ST.
ST. And then the other way is going to be SU. And so that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. That's 13 ways to name it. So this is probably more important than anything of the points and the lines and planes and all that. The how to name lines. It's so important because this really shows up through the whole class, through the whole year. So remember, when you're naming a line, you use 2 points only. Do not use 3, do not use 1. If you're naming a line, you're using 2 points. Or the other way is this easy way, is if there's the lowercase letter. You can do that. But remember, is D a point on this line? No. D is not a point. It is not like U, T, S, or R. Those are points that are named on the line, that are called out. This is just the name of the line. So be careful with that. Okay. On this one right here, naming this plane. So remember, when you name a plane, we talked about this yesterday. To name a plane, one way is to use 3 non-collinear points. That means 3 points on the plane that are not on the same line. Or if there's the uppercase cursive letter, that's generally probably going to be down around the bottom somewhere or something like that, just off by itself, that's the other main way to name a plane. So on this one, it's easy. I mean, it just gives you the 3. So we could call this plane XYZ. We could rearrange that and say plane ZYX. And you could rearrange that in a bunch of different ways. I'm not going to go through all of those. But any arrangement of those 3 letters is fine. But what's the other main way to name this plane? To name it plane B. Okay. Next. Okay, line DH and line BF. Is line DH and BF, are they intersecting where they hit each other, parallel, or skew? Yes, those are parallel. They're both, assuming that's a rectangular prism, those would be parallel. Okay. Come on. What about line AD and line DH? Those are intersecting. Okay, remember, intersect means to cross, to meet, to touch, whatever. So those intersect. Okay. What about line EG? Okay, and there's not a line drawn, but we're going to draw it. Line EG and line BD.
Skew.
Exactly. Good. Why did you say they're skewed?
Because they're
They're
never
not,
going to touch, but they're
not
parallel.
parallel.
Okay, that's exactly the way I would have said it. They're never going to touch, but they're also not parallel. Perfect. Good. Okay. Is A, B, and C parallel to plane CDG? So ABC is this plane up here. CDG is this plane right here. Are those 2 planes parallel? Are those 2 planes parallel? No, they're not parallel. They are definitely going to intersect. Okay. And then planes FGH and plane BCD. Are those parallel? Or no, do those intersect? No, those are parallel. Okay, on the back. 2 lines intersect at a blank. So again, let's talk about this real quick. What does the word intersect mean?
Cross.
Okay, where they cross each other. Okay, where they touch, where they meet. Like where 2 streets intersect, that's where they come together. Okay? So when you have 2 lines that intersect, 2 lines that run across each other, what's happening right there where they meet up at? What is there where they meet?
Point.
Exactly, a point. Okay? So when 2 lines intersect, or in other words, when they cross, where they touch, where they meet, there's a point where that happens. So like on this one, where do lines L and M meet? At point A. Okay, right there, that's where those 2 lines are crossing each other. Okay, on this one, where's lines L and M meeting at? At point P. So you can see right there. Those two lines meet up at point P. Next, two planes. Okay, so let's talk about that. What does a plane mean? Yeah, that's exactly right. Like a square. The more generic way to say that is like a flat surface. So any flat surface, like your desktop is a plane, it's a flat surface. The floor is a flat surface, it's a plane. Okay? Any flat surface. So when you have two planes that meet up, what happens where those two planes meet? So if you think about it on like this box, okay? So you have the top plane up here, okay? And let's think about this plane over here on the right-hand side. So where this right-hand plane is going up and down, and it comes up here and it meets the top plane that's coming over to the right to meet it, what happens where they hit each other?
A line.
Exactly, a line is formed. Where two planes meet up, a line is formed, okay? So two planes intersect at a line. So let's just say, where does this plane and this plane meet up at?
Line GA.
Okay, and in this case it's line segment GA, but yeah, that's right, it's at GA. Okay, on this one, so you have this plane M and this plane N. So plane M is running this way, plane N is running this way. And they like...
I don't get into.
Yeah, I know some of this stuff sometimes, like, people's vision and...
Like 6 different ways.
Yes, that definitely can happen. And mine does that too. But if this is coming out towards you right here and this is coming out, where do they meet up at?
Line
Okay, exactly. They meet up right here at this line. And again, like we did just a second ago, there's several ways to name that line. We'll just call it line ED. You could call it EB, you could call it BE, you could call it BD, any of that. That's just one way. Okay, and then the other thing to consider is here is what happens whenever a plane and a line intersect. And so this is implying that the line is not actually laying on the plane, okay? That it's like my iPad right here, okay? The top of my iPad is a plane, and like my Apple Pencil right here is a line, just assume that. And where it goes down through it, so exactly where this meets the plane, what happens where the plane and the line meet up? Or if you think about it like this, okay, you got the iPad top right here, and you got the pencil. So whenever the pencil comes down and hits it right there, where do they meet up at? At a single point, exactly. So a plane and a line intersect at a point. So in this case, where does this, actually it's a ray really, I should do it like that. Where does ray UT and plane C meet up at?
T.
Yeah, right there, point T. Okay, on this one we have plane N. Ooh. Okay, plane N and you have line AE. So where does line AE and plane N meet up at?
B.
Exactly, right here at point B. Okay, good. So remember, two lines intersect at a point, two planes intersect at a line, and a plane and a line intersect at a point, assuming the line's not just laying on the plane. Okay, down here, are A, B, and C collinear? Are A, B, and C collinear? So remember, what does collinear mean? Means what? We talked about this yesterday. What does collinear mean? Yeah, it means they're all on the same line. Are A, B, and C on the same line? Or A, B, and C, is there one line that could be drawn through all three of those points at the same time? No, so they are not collinear. Okay, explanation, there's not one line that can be drawn through all three of them at the same time. Okay, next one. Are A, B, C, D, and E coplanar?
On the same plane?
Right, are all five of those points on the same plane?
No.
No, if you think about this in 3 dimension, you have like, say like plane, this big plane here is like your desktop, and then you have this pyramid sitting on top of it, okay? So this is like coming up here, and point A is way up here off the desktop, and these 4 points are like laying right on top of that big plane. So are all 5 of those points on the same plane?
No.
No, they're not. Which point's kind of messing that up? Is plane A, exactly. Okay, I'm not going to worry about number 14. Number 15, what is the intersection of line AE and line AB? So where does line AE and AB meet up at? Exactly at point A. And you could tell if you just look at the names, AE and AB, they both have A in common. That's where they're going to meet up at. Okay, what is the intersection of line AE and plane F? So you have line AE, and here's plane F. So where does this line right here meet up with this whole plane down here?
Point E.
Good, it meets right here at point E. All right, and then the last one down here. What's the intersection of plane F? That's this right here. And plane AED. So AED is right here. So where does the purple plane meet up with that pink plane, or whatever colors those are?
Line segment ED.
Okay, exactly. They meet up right here along this line segment right here. So you can see where the purple touches, the pink is right there. Because if you think about it in 3D, this purple part's going up, like it's going up. The purple part's not touching the pink part above here. The only place it's touching it is down here along line ED. Or line segment ED. Okay. One more thing I want to do here. So this plane right here, let me shade it in. Okay, that plane right there. What could I name that plane right there?
Plane BED.
Okay, plane BED would be good. Give me one more name I can name that same plane.
CDE.
Okay, plane CDE would work. So remember, what we're doing there is we're choosing 3 of those points. That's how we're naming that plane, is choosing 3 points. And it can be any 3 points on there as long as they're not on the same line. If they're on the same line, then you're just naming a line at that point. You're not naming a plane.